Virgin Galactic is preparing for liftoff. Richard Branson's venture is merging with an investment firm, which would result in the company becoming the world's first publicly traded space tourism venture. Brennan has more on the great space race.
A turning point for investing in commercial space as Virgin Galactic now looks to go public. Social Capital head of Sophia, which is a special purpose acquisition company, or SPAC, will invest about $800 million for a 49% stake in the space company. And Social Capital's Chamath Palihapitiya, who is personally investing his own money, will become chairman.
This thing looks like a software business under the hood, even though it's flying people to space. So this is, I think, actually a really compelling risk reward. I mean, even taking a general step back, I think I've had a really good track record right now of being a little bit ahead of some big trends, whether it was a transition to Amazon, whether it was backing Bitcoin, things like Slack. And what I'll tell you is I generally don't put my own principal capital on the table unless I think there's a really compelling risk reward, and I'm doing that here.
Virgin Galactic is a space tourism company charging $250,000 to take customers to the edge of space. It expects to begin doing so within a year, and so far, over 600 people have already signed up, with another 2,500 also apparently expressing interest. Sir Richard Branson believes this will be one of the big new industries of the future.
The market is enormous. I mean, and the amount of people who'd love to go to space is enormous. And once we've got a lot of spaceships, the float will hopefully enable us to be able to build a lot of spaceships, the price will start coming down, and that will increase the market even more.
Palihapitiya says he expects Virgin Galactic to become profitable on an annual basis by August of 2021. And that 5 to 10 years from now, it won't just be about trips to the edge of space, but also hypersonic travel around the globe.
What Richard's team has built are technologies that eventually can be used in a hypersonic airplane. So what does that mean? That means if you're used to a 10-hour flight from Los Angeles to Tokyo or Los Angeles to Beijing, that becomes less than 2 hours. Now, that alone, if you look at the ticketing revenue for that in the airlines, that's $300 billion of revenue that should vaporize.
Meantime, Virgin Galactic isn't alone in the space tourism race. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin is developing a suborbital trip of its own, and both SpaceX and Boeing recently received approval to begin carrying private astronauts into orbit to the International Space Station as soon as next year. But with Virgin going public, the stakes are high, and investors in the sector are watching closely, since this will be a first that could create a lot of benefits, but also means less margin for error. After all, as the saying goes, space is hard. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Brennan.